Close the door and lean in. Allen Park just started buzzing in that low, electric way that means something real is moving. And I've got the kind of locker room whisper you tell your best friend before it hits the ticker. I'm talking about the piece that flips third. Downs from hold your breath to start the celebration. The kind of edge presence that forces offensive coordinators to rip out the first page of their script on Friday night. Stay with me, because I'm laying out everything with grown-up clarity. Why the defensive staff circle one position as the lever that wins January. How the cap can carry a big name without choking next spring. What kind of pick would actually get a GM to say yes? How the rotation changes snap to snap. And where the risks live so we go in with both eyes open. When the reveal lands, it'll make perfect sense. But I need you to see the board the way the building sees it. First, our truth. Detroit can beat you with structure now. The front is violent enough to set edges. The interior rotates fresh legs. The back end communicates. And Avid Hutchinson has reached that stage where he doesn't just affect plays, he schedules them. But the NFL in November is a progress test you take on 3rd and 7, and those downs have a sound to them. We need a closer who wins his one-on-one right now, who turns quarterback at 5 steps into quarterback at 3 steps, who eats chips for breakfast and still arrives with heavy hands. You don't buy that to impress Twitter. You buy it so your coverage can sit 1 step flatter and your linebackers can play downhill without praying. Look at the calendar. The deadline is a pressure cooker that exposes pretenders and rewards rosters that are a surgery away from being complete. Detroit doesn't need a rebuild move. Detroit needs a championship move with a responsible receipt. That means proven production, a role that snaps perfectly into what we already call, and a contract path that doesn't light next March on fire. You've heard a lot of names. Some are attractive until you open the spreadsheet. Some are talented until you ask them to play rush integrity for 45 snaps and not freelance. The list gets short fast when you demand grown man answers in all 3 columns: tape, health, and money. Here's why the locker room believes in this lane. When you add a true edge hammer opposite Hutchinson, you stop living in almost. Offenses lose their comfort tools. The boot game gets slower. The screen game gets greasier. Slide protections start lying to themselves. Your nickelbacks stop tackling tight ends in space after 5-second plays. Suddenly, Montez and the interior don't need to win clean. They need to collapse the pocket while someone else wins clean. That's sustainable winning in cold weather. Now the cap reality, without the fairy dust. You can bring in a premium edge if 3 things line up. The incoming cash in 2025 is workable after proration. The out years don't eat your extension plan. And you have the pick structure to make the seller feel the upside if the player impacts games the way you expect. The phrase you're going to hear me use is performance protected. That means tying escalation to snap counts and playoff wins, not to wishful thinking. You pay big for big results. You don't pay big to post graphics. Let's talk football before I drop the name. The fit we're buying is long arm power into inside counters, discipline on zone read, a mature rush plan on 3rd and medium, and the ability to run our TE and ET games without creating escape lanes. We want someone who has lived in playoff leverage, who understands that a good rush is one that keeps the quarterback where the defense wants him, not just one that collects a sack. We also want the tone leadership by standard, not by speech. Detroit's locker room is built on that exact thing. All right, this is the part you came for. The green light we've been waiting on links directly to a name that's lived at the top of our whiteboard since the summer. Bradley Chubb. I know exactly what that means to you. It means power with a plan. It means long arms that dent pockets from the first quarter to the last. It means a closer who can set the edge, compress the launch point, and finish when quarterbacks make one mistake with their depth. It also means a contract that isn't pretend. You do not trade for Chubb to see how it goes. You trade for him because you believe he is the last premium piece your front needs to turn tight games into business. decisions for the other. Sideline. Here's how it works between the lines. On early downs, Chubb sets a hard key gap so we don't have to rob the box with DBs. That keeps our coverage menu broad and our tails low. On third down, you can pair him and Hutch in game after game. Start with wide 9 alignments to stretch the pocket. Run a spike loop to hit the guard's outside knee. Then change the picture with a mug look that threatens pressure and drops out late while the edges race on the outside hips. The beauty isn't just the sack. It's the bad throw into the flat, the panic step into a stunt, the 3 drives a game that end because the quarterback never found his spot. It spreads down the call sheet more disguises, more patience in the back end, fewer freebies. What changes for our young guys? The whole room gets in the right chair. Rotational edges play their pitch count instead of their pride. Interior rushers cash in on single blocks. The fourth quarter feels shorter because the pass rush eats time. That's the value you pay for. And yes, Hutchinson benefits in the way every great edge benefits when the other side demands real help chips. Slides, tight ends anchored to the line. Choose your poison. I'm not going to sell you fireworks without telling you what it costs. Chubb carries veteran money and veteran expectations. You're inheriting a premium slot that asks you to be exact without years. But Detroit can do exact. The right framework looks like this. A mid-rounder that triggers up with snap share and playoff advancement. An optional swap down the line, and the kind of outgoing salary that doesn't rip a core player off the field. If there's relief in the form of converted cash or minor offsets, great. If not, you still do it because elite edges are not found at garage sale prices. The organization has already shown it understands surgical midseason moves. This is that. Scaled up. There's also the health conversation, and I will not duck it. Edge rushers who play with violence carry mileage. That's why performance-based triggers and responsible minutes matter. Detroit's Sports Science Group has earned trust for a reason. They manage loads. They watch patterns. They protect December by being smart in October. Chubb slots into a plan, not into hero ball. You bring him here to win playoff snaps, not to win press conferences. Culture? That's the part I feel best about. Dan Campbell has built a room where humility and teeth live together. You either buy in or the room spits you out. Chubb fits the blue collar, no excuses, bring your own shovel ethos. He has played real football in real months. He understands what complimentary football feels like when the front four travels. That matters when the schedule turns mean and the games become 6 possessions of mistakes and 4 of moments. Now, why today? Because the market is waking up. Contenders window shop until someone moves, and then the prices change. If you believe an edge of this caliber lifts your defense on the exact downs that decide seasons, you don't wait for a bidding war to add 7% to the bill. You act while the matrix of need, availability, and cap fit is aligned. This is that alignment. The signal from Allen Park is simple. If the cost sits in the responsible lane, if the medicals match the tape, if the roll locks to our call sheet, we step on the gas. Let me tie it back to Sundays. Imagine the second quarter after a sudden change turnover. Instead of surviving, you attack. Hutch squeezes from the front side. Chubb collapses from the backside. The quarterback bails early, and a rush throw dies at the sticks because the window arrived late. Or picture the final 4 minutes with a lead by 1 score. No light edges, no soft pockets, no free step-ups. Just pressure that feels inevitable in a stadium that knows what's coming. That is the difference between 11 wins and 13. Between hosting and traveling, between relief and belief. My bottom line. Clean and professional. Bradley Chubb in Detroit is not a poster move, it's a football move that changes how we finish drives, how we script third downs, and how we carry ourselves in January. The cap can handle it if the structure is disciplined, the rotation gets smarter overnight, and the payoff is as practical as it is emotional. Fewer long fields for the offense to chase. Fewer heart attack plays on defense. More Sundays where the fourth quarter feels like closure. Not chaos. Before I rap, I want the room. Do you ship a performance-protected package to bring Chubb to Allen Park now? Or do you ride internal answers and push your ammo to the final hours of the market? Tell me your pick structure, the outgoing piece you attach without crippling depth, and how you distribute snaps once he's in the building. I'll pin the savviest plan so the whole community can pressure test it with cap logic and football truth. If you're here for every real update and not the noise, hit subscribe, keep the bell on, and stay locked to Lions News Fan Report. When the pen hits paper, I'll have the angles, the numbers, and the tape that matters.